Have you really wondered what it was like to walk into the Utilidors for the first time? Well, I'm going to tell you. A workday at Magic Kingdom is definitely unique compared to probably any other place you could work. A lot of places have security. Magic Kingdom's no different. You have to show your employee ID and have them check that. They open up your bags and check that to make sure you're not bringing anything in that you should. And then you hop on a bus and you shuttle on in. But when you arrive at Magic Kingdom, that's when it gets a little bit different. You see, the employees at Magic Kingdom, when their bus stops, it actually pulls up at the back of this giant, it looks like a cavern or tunnel built into the ground. That's the entrance to the Utilidor. From where the bus stops, it's about 3 stories high. As you walk in, it just gets darker, but also in Florida, the nice thing is it gets cooler and cooler because there's air conditioning there. Walking to the Utilidors is a very unique experience. They're not pretty, they're not neat, they're actually kind of ugly. There's pipes and wires and everything running all over the place. Everywhere you look, there's a big giant 1 to 1.5 foot wide pipe. That's where all the garbage runs, and it goes from every part of the park through these pipes all the way out to the disposal center out at the end of Frontierland. But of course, garbage running everywhere, oh yeah, you definitely have the smell that goes with it. The Utilidors have a unique fragrance to them that you get used to after a little while. But there's also a lot of really neat things in the Utilidor. Where you first walk in off the bus, off on the right side is the employee cafeteria. Inside there is a bistro and a grill and a homemade meal section and of course a full-fledged Subway. There's no $5 footlongs for Disney workers. Right next to that is where you have the Studio D Disney University place. Inside that little outlet area, they've got several computers for you to use if you want to surf the web, check your email. You can log in, check your hours, your schedules. Not only do they have the computers, they've got a full library there with all sorts of books to read. Everything from Disney history and fun fact to business training, business management, administration. There's also a full library of Disney movies, all sorts of things. You can check all those out for a couple days, go home, watch the movie you haven't seen. Additionally, this is where you can sign up for Disney University classes. And they've got a huge variety of things from training in different job areas, trying out new things, learning new skills such as photography or maybe an exercise class. They also offer some behind the scenes tours. It's at Disney U where you can sign up to take a behind the scenes tour of the Haunted Mansion or Spaceship Earth where you get to go inside and see everything that works. Across that big hall is the wardrobe, where most of the cast members can pick up their costumes. And you name it, they've got a costume for it in there. This is just the regular wardrobe, not the character one. Most people have their costumes there. PhotoPass, we were one of the unlucky ones. Our costumes are out in a place out in the parking lot. We had to go out there, get our costume, and then drive all the way around to repark before we could actually get into work. But for most people, you have the costumes there. You have the men's and women's locker rooms. Not only have lockers to keep your things in, they also have full showers. Those people that worked late one night, they'd stay overnight in one of the break rooms and then get up in the morning, they go take a shower and then go right back out to work in the morning. I think most of us did that at some point. There's also a haircut salon there. Yes, you can actually get your hair cut at Disney at a reasonable rate. It's not a big place. There's 3 or 4 chairs. You can get that done on your way into work or on your way out if you'd like. Then if you got in trouble for having your hair too long, well, hey, there was a place right there to get you fixed up in a hurry. If you continue down the hall just a little bit, it would kind of dead end and you would have a choice of directions to go. Left or right would start the big loop around. You can look that map up online. It's easy to find. There's several of them out there. They'll show you the layout of the Utilidors. Right at that corner was also the character zoo. This is where they kept all the costumes for all the characters. Minnie, Mickey, Donald, Goofy, the Chipmunks, the princesses. It was all in the character zoo. And there were a couple windows there where you could actually look into the window, just kind of look and see everything they had. It was a really fascinating place to stop. Right outside the character zoo was also where you would pick up your Eyes and Ears magazine. This is what you would pick up if you wanted to know what was going on all throughout the park as far as the cast members go. Activities, different news events, upcoming promotions. And so you'd want to make sure that you pick these up. You could also kind of make a quick dog leg and go straight down, and that would take you down underneath the castle and the moat. Our base for Cinderella's Royal Table was right at the place where the path would start to go down underneath the castle. That's where we printed all the pictures for Cinderella's Royal Table. We had a number of photographers that were runners. They would take the printed pictures and they would run them upstairs to where the people were eating. Then they would run back downstairs to pick up more pictures, and they would do this back and forth all day. I got to do that one time. Oh, I was tired. I can tell you, there were people that did it every day. They had those steps memorized. They could tell you how many, where they were, and practically walk them in their sleep. Once you got down to the other end of the Utilidors, the pass would join up again, and that's about when you were at Main Street. And there was another smaller loop that had the other break room that I told you about on the one video with the couches and the small bistro. If you wanted a bigger meal at that end of the park, then you would actually go out of the Utilidors up behind Main Street. And there was another little eatery there, and they could cook you food to order. They would grill burgers and sandwiches and various other things. It was a lot faster paced and smaller though, so it wasn't quite as relaxing as the one downstairs. Also downstairs at Main Street end, you would have security. The whole park operation was run out of that end of the park. There were a number of other things down there as well. You could go from pretty much any place in the park to another place through the Utilidors. With that big loop, you could just kind of wander through, and eventually there would be a sign that would tell you where you were going, and just follow the path and go up through a door, and it would take you right upstairs to where you wanted to go. It'd take you to most of the restaurants because the kitchens were all downstairs. There were a few kitchens upstairs. Most of it was down. The food lockers were downstairs. Supplies were down there. You wanted to know what the stores were going to get? You would probably see them in the bins sitting outside in the Utilidors downstairs. The Utilidors were also big enough that they would run Pergos in there. What's a Pergo? It's essentially a large electric golf cart. Most of the ones they would run there were flatbed golf carts, and that way they could load up supplies and materials and whatever else they needed to move, and they would take them down that way. It was really a lot of fun on our days off to occasionally go down, just kind of wander around and see what was there that we hadn't found yet, because there was always something. The Utilidors were a very unique part of Disney. It wasn't just unique to Magic Kingdom though. They did have a much smaller version over at Epcot that basically runs under Future World. Disneyland itself, I've been told, has a smaller version of it as well. But Magic Kingdom is the ultimate example of making Walt's vision of the Utilidors being put into use today. Thank you for watching. Please like, please share, please comment. Don't forget it down below. Thank you.